Hey, you guys, it's Life of Nikki Lee podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well and living your fullest every day. Hope you guys are having a great weekend this Saturday. I know that I'm enjoying myself. We've had a little bit of, rain here and there, but, I'm a pluviophile, so the rain and all that good stuff is very calming and very peaceful to me. So, on tonight's podcast, we're going to finish up with our deep dive. This is part 3 of basically talking about fraternities and sororities, the Caleb Wilson case, and just everything that we need to address as far as hazing goes. Now, starting off, I just want to send my prayers and condolences out to the family of Caleb Wilson. He was laid to rest today with loved ones and friends. And I know that that's a very tragic loss for them. So, you guys, let's just continue to keep them lifted in prayer, and not just, this family, but everyone who has been through anything traumatic, whether it's related to situations like this or just any kind of loss or grievance. Let's just continue to keep each other lifted in prayer, because a lot of people have taken losses and you just never know what someone's going through. I just felt the need to say that. So, diving into part 3 tonight, we're talking about the foundation of these fraternities and sororities, particularly the Black Greek letter organizations. Now, the origins of this go back to back in the day in colleges when everything was still segregated. You had people who had fraternities and sororities. Everything started off with white males. They had their own fraternities, and even back then, women weren't allowed to join in anything like that. So white women started coming up with sororities. So it started off in predominantly white institutions. And of course, Black people were not welcome into those spaces. And so what they did was start forming their own Greek letter organizations, because this was not only something that they looked at that would forward them, it would help them to empower and embolden their community, just looking to do some good, looking to uplift their community. Now, things started getting a little janky towards, I would say, being influenced by the military, but we'll get to that later. The basis of all this is these fraternities and sororities, founded by Black founders, they were meant to be a staple in the Black community. It was to, get their social and economic justice, to help with things. Back then, of course, you knew Blacks couldn't vote. They assisted in those types of things, helping people try to basically level up in society. They were a part of the civil rights movement. There were so many things that they were a part of. The only thing that I kind of gave a side eye to, because, doing research on these Greek letter organizations, you already feel some kind of way, because you knew that they started these organizations to begin with simply because they wanted to feel like they had the same rights as white people. They knew they weren't invited to be a part of their organization, so they wanted to start their own. But the other thing was, and they no longer do this, I want to make that clear, but they used to do the brown paper bag test. Now, for those of you all who are not familiar with it, this started in New Orleans. New Orleans used to have their own little caste system, because, you had the mulattoes and the Creoles and all that. They had their own little caste system of, people. If they were darker than a brown paper bag, they weren't allowed to get into certain, spaces, which, of course, you and I say today we will use the term colorist, but that's what they did back then. Now, and unfortunately, you did have some organizations. I know Alpha Kappa Alpha, they definitely used to do the brown paper bag test. Now, that's kind of, in my eyes, that's kind of hypocritical, because it's like you wanted to help your Black community, but you didn't want darker skinned people in your organizations. That was very unfair, but of course, later on, it changed. But I just wanted to, put that history out there, because the whole point of this is to highlight how this all began, why it started, and what was their role in the Black community. Now, over the years, it started changing, they started, doing things like stepping and all that other stuff. And of course, again, like I said, that was all influenced by the military. And just all those things started to infiltrate the spaces of Black Greek letter organizations. And right here, I'm sharing a picture of the organization that I joined. I joined this back in 2000. I crossed in fall of 2007. And I was active on up until, I want to say, 2017. Yeah, 2017. Now, what I experienced within my organization in the undergrad, I'll be very honest with you, and I'm just going to give you a rundown. When I first joined, I wanted to join because I loved the history of it. I loved that, the founders were women who stood on business. And I was like, okay, this is empowerment. This can embolden me as a woman and all the things, right? But of course, undergrad, you don't see the forest for the trees. Now, when I got in, when I was going through the process, that's when the mask fell off. And I was just like, Lord, what is this? And I'm being completely transparent here. And again, these are my experiences, and I'm just sharing it with you all. I saw some things, and I saw some things that I just felt like, okay, this is not sitting right with me. But at the same time, I'm trying to give it a chance, because I think things will change. Things will get better. First of all, you're already around a group of women, so it's going to be different personalities. But some of the women that I saw, it was just like, I expected more professionalism, and the things that were happening and the things that were going on and all the things that I found out, I was just like, this is slowly but surely, I just started seeing it for what it was. And this impacted my decisions moving forward in the organization. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I was, working side by side with women who put the organization before their kids. There was one lady, she was from another chapter, of course, but when she would introduce herself, she would, kind of, say it and make it a joke, like, this comes first in my life, and I have a daughter, and I'm sitting up there thinking to myself, when I first heard her say it, I'm thinking she's joking, but she kept saying it. Every time she would introduce herself, or anytime we would have anything going on, she would say this. And I was like, that is crazy. Nothing should come before your child except God. And then, there was a young lady who crossed on one of the lines before me. This woman was pregnant. Pregnant. Yes, you heard me. She was pregnant. And she was going through the process, being hazed, going through the process. She was pregnant and she told nobody. Everybody didn't find out this girl was pregnant until after process was over. And they were, everybody sitting around like, you jeopardized your pregnancy trying to be online? Like, you didn't want to tell the big sisters that you were pregnant? This woman wanted letters. And see, that's when something in me just struck me and was just like, something is wrong here. You should never want some Greek letters that bad. You wanted some Greek letters that bad that you were willing to jeopardize your pregnancy. And y'all, I kid you not, even after she crossed, she got her, her letters of paraphernalia and all that stuff. And she, you never saw her again. It was like she went through it and then you never saw her again. She never came to another meeting. She was just gone. And I just thought that was so insane. So insane. The organization as a whole, I didn't start having more positive experiences until I moved to grad chapter. Grad chapter was more experienced, more seasoned, more mature, like-minded women. And I was able to feel a little bit better moving forward. And then even after then, women who came into the organization that I helped cross, I was able to bring that as I felt more of a need to be more nurturing. Yes, I was kind of harsh at times, but I never physically put my hands on anybody. I did come off tough towards a lot of these girls because I wanted them to do their very best. But I knew that what I had been through was not right. And I never wanted to bring another woman in that same way. And plus, hello, it's illegal. So when I look back and think about all those experiences, you guys, and how all that stuff impacted me, I don't understand how people in this day and age get down with this hazing stuff. It's insane. There's nothing good about it. They want you to prove yourself and they want you to show that you're tough and you're doing physical exercise. You're going without sleep. You're up all hours of the night. It's crazy. And then Hell Week leading up to Hell Night is insane. I will never forget Hell Week that led up to Hell Night for me. I was scared. I was scared to death. I was so scared that I started drinking because I wanted to be halfway inebriated because I was so afraid of what these women were going to do. They already, was talking crazy to us. We got called out of our names, pushed, shoved, knocked down, pouring stuff all over us, forcing us to eat and drink stuff that we knew we didn't. Honestly, we didn't even know what half that crap was. And even to this day, I still don't know what half that crap was. I don't even want to think about it. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. You're blindfolded. You're taken through here. You're taken through there. You're knocked down. You're pushed down. You're pushed. You're shoved. You're getting called everything but a child of God. And I'm thinking to myself, what is this? What in the world is this? And I'm going to tell you guys something. These organizations, because see now, with all this stuff that's happened with the Caleb Wilson case, they're all sitting up here and they're all saying stuff about, they're trying to defend their organizations and they're like, everybody doesn't haze this. Let me tell you something. It's bullshit. I believe grad chapters don't partake in a lot of the foolishness because they're about the money. But let me tell you, undergrads, you can't convince me that they don't do it and they don't know about it. They know about it and they do it. A lot of people online, they're saying, don't bash a whole organization. How can you not? Everybody knows the Qs have been notorious for hazing. If you don't want to take my word for it, look it up yourself. And not just the Qs. A lot of the organizations have been in trouble for hazing. And I don't want to even start speaking on what goes on behind closed doors. And it's not just the hazing, it's the behavior of these so-called big brothers and big sisters, or as a lot of us used to say, pro-fights, the ones who have, been in for a while, because I have seen a lot. Little Miss Ski Wee was getting skeeted on. I have seen and heard so much from, going through things and being affiliated with others and just being exposed to stuff and seeing things for what it is, going to some of these Q parties, the stuff that they do, taking their clothes off, trying to get the girls drunk. Look, it is what it is. But I am not going to sit here. I'm not trying to bash anyone, but I'm telling you what it is. All you people out here is thinking about trying to be a part of these organizations. You might want to double think that, because at the basis of all this, when you look at it, when you look at the things that are on their shields, worshiping, first of all, worshiping a Greek god, what does that have to do with your God, the creator of all? You cannot serve two gods. You cannot serve two gods. It tells you that in the Bible. You be breaking one of the 10 commandments right there. You shall not put any other God before our God. The stuff that they have you doing, the stuff behind the scenes, I don't care how they say, oh, we do so much for the community. Look what we've done. We've done this. We've done that. Stick to the subject here. What does that have to do with you beating your pledges? You can tell me all day long what an organization has done for the community, and I'm still going to ask you, what did you do to those people so they could get their letters? What did you do to your pledges? And you tell me, those rituals that you're doing, all my love, my peace and happiness, I'm going to give it to who? All your love, your peace and happiness should go to God. And all this other stuff talking about so-and-so is the only way. No, Jesus Christ is the only way. And let's be honest with you. Are you really joining these organizations because you want to help your community? Because like I said before, you don't have to put on, some Greek letter. You don't have to join a Greek letter organization to make an impact in your community. I'm going to tell you the real reason why people join these organizations, folks. And it ain't got nothing to do with them wanting to help their community. They want to put it on their resume. They want to have networking. They want to be able to say, I'm a part of this. I'm somebody. We basically are looking at grown-ass people who are looking for validation. That's the real reason. And you can sit up here and say, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, so why can't you do it on your own? Why do you have to be a part of an organization for that? And let's just say, oh, yeah, well, I want to be a part of a sisterhood. Okay. But again, what are you willing to do to be a part of that sisterhood? And does that really align with God? Because let's be honest, if these organizations were so great, if these people were so, great to be a part of, why have people lost their lives? Why have people fallen into depression? Why do people damn near lose themselves trying to join these organizations? Young Jordan Hankins out there at Northwestern University, the basketball player, she killed herself because of what those women in AKA did to her. And you all say, well, you can't condemn the whole organization. Y'all know about this stuff. And yeah, you can suspend and expel chapters, but these chapters were still a part of your organization. And everybody knows that this goes down behind the scenes. And I'm going to tell you this. When I look at young men like Caleb Wilson, he was a good kid, 20 years old. This kid looked like he had basically been, well-mannered, smart, disciplined, did just about everything right. And because he wanted to be a part of a brotherhood, he wanted to do better. And to be honest with you, I believe he would have been one of the guys that would have changed that chapter for the better. And I think those jackasses saw that in him. And they wanted to break him. They wanted to beat him down. They wanted to humiliate him. And now you got stuff going on at Southern University now. People are upset. They're angry about this young man losing his life. They went down there and they vandalized the Omega chapter plot. Destroyed the letters. And you really can't blame them. I don't condone violence and all that other stuff, but somebody's baby is gone. These parents have had to bury their babies. I'm sorry. You're going to get what you get. That chapter is going to get what they get. It never gets that serious trying to get some damn Greek letters, y'all. And this is what I want to close out with. Know who you are before you step out here in this world. Please know who you are. Don't let anybody make you feel like you're not good enough. Don't let anybody make you feel like you don't have what it takes to take on the world. And don't be afraid to step out alone sometimes if you have to. You can do it. Don't let anybody make you feel less than. Don't let anybody pound on you. What's for you will be yours. You can make an impact in your community. You can, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a part of a group, but don't be a part of a group that's willing to compromise your health. Don't be a part of a group that's trying to compromise you spiritually, financially abusing you, taking advantage of you. And that's another thing I experience in my organizations. Those so-called sisters who like to use people just because. It's all BS. Have wisdom, have discernment. And above all, pray and ask God to lead you to what is right for you.